You're watching ABC 7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. One of the victims in the newsroom shooting in Maryland has a connection to Sarasota. Rob Hyacinth's first job out of college was as a news reporter at radio station WQSA on Berkey Street. And that's where we find Rick Adams live tonight. Rick, you got a chance to speak to some of those who actually worked with Hyacinth. What do they have to say about him?
Yeah, Jacqueline, good evening. Hyacinth had worked here back in the 70s. I talked with his former co-worker and his former news director who had spoken with him just last week. They spoke very highly of him and say this tragedy really hits close to home. Sarasota resident Ralph Giannotti is remembering his friend and former colleague Rob Hyacinth. Hyacinth, an editor for the Capital Gazette newspaper, and 4 others were shot to death in their Maryland newsroom on Thursday.
When I heard that Rob was one of the victims, it was like I got hit with a ton of bricks. I was absolutely shocked. I'm still coming to grips with it.
Giannotti, a former news director, had hired Hyacinth back in the late 70s as a news reporter for radio station WQSA. He's seen here second in from the right. It's a place where Hyacinth would work for a couple of years. Just last week, they were messaging each other and reminiscing. In fact, they share the same exact wedding anniversary day. Giannotti remembers Hyacinth as a great journalist and as a great human being.
He was certainly affable. He got along with everybody, and he always had a smile on his face.
A former co-worker of his at WQSA, Jerry O'Donnell Williams, seen here second from the left, has fond memories of working with Hyacinth.
He was a friend and very talented and very witty and very intelligent and loved to write.
Hyacinth is the brother of famed novelist Carl Hyacinth. In addition to working at the Sarasota radio station, he's had a very successful career at a variety of newspapers. Giannotti tells us this tragedy is going to take a long time to really sink in.
Had he died a natural death, had he been ill and something happened, the reaction would have been different. It would have been sorrow. But this is shock and sorrow. And it's really hard to get past that right now.
And Hyacinth is survived by his wife and 3 children. Reporting live from Sarasota this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Rick, thank you so much. Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast. Bob, the weekend is here for the 4th of July holiday, excuse me.
That's right. It's on a Wednesday, so it's kind of interesting. Yeah, the weekend, a lot of fireworks will be going off, obviously, and fireworks in the sky, too, I think. We're going to have some big storms around. In the morning, there's a possibility here along the coast, too. This high-pressure ridge you see here is going to slip off in this direction, and a low-pressure area is going to emerge right here and eventually take off to the west as well. But it's going to be close enough to us to bring us this onshore flow, and with that instability in the atmosphere, a pretty good bet to see scattered showers and even a few thunderstorms, which could produce some locally heavy rain at times, also some dangerous lightning. So keep that in mind. It'll be a lot of boulders out there. Seek shelter, obviously, if you can hear the thunder. Now, we have had some showers already starting to pop up just within the last half hour, and I figured this was going to happen. We're going to see some of this activity during the early morning hours just kind of develop here in the eastern portion of the Gulf of Mexico and work their way onshore. Right now, not a lot going on right near the immediate coast, and it was good at the Van Wezel tonight for the boat race kind of party, meet the drivers there, and you can see not much going on to the west of that. Now, as far as the current conditions go, we do have some clouds around 79, and the red tide is still very evident down south into Charlotte County. It's lessening somewhat in Sarasota County, but it's getting a little bit better. We'll have more on that coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. As he just mentioned, red tide is impacting some beaches here on the Suncoast, causing problems for animals and beachgoers alike. Florida Fish and Wildlife releasing their weekly report today, saying a patchy bloom of algae remains here in southwest Florida. In Sarasota County, the red tide is being measured at background to medium concentrations. Over the past week, fish kills and respiratory issues were reported at numerous beaches on the Suncoast, including Lido Key, Manasota Beach, Nokomis Beach, Siesta Key, Venice Beach, and Coquina Beach. Meanwhile, Mote marine scientists think they may have found a solution to that red tide problem. Today, they launched a series of new studies to help control it. Underneath all of these organisms is a PVC pipe molded into a cube that was used to attract the many filter feeders that you see. Moat says these organisms are known to also filter red tide. They expect using a similar strategy will be effective in residential canals with high levels of red tide in the area.
That's a big place where we're trying to move to, is trying to get better at predicting and forecasting. When are we going to have a bloom and where? That's extremely useful. That can help protect people and resources.
Moat has also launched a new app that allows beachgoers to mark whether or not they're seeing the effects of red tide. It will help Moat to determine where these blooms are strongest. A follow-up now on a missing kayaker in Sarasota County. Sheriff's deputies now say they found the body of that missing kayaker. Deputies say they got reports that a person went missing just after noon today. About 3 hours later, they were alerted to a body. They say that body has been ID'd as that missing kayaker, and they are waiting to release the identity as soon as they've notified the next of kin. Tonight, a Sarasota man is charged with manslaughter after he gave fentanyl to a woman who died from an overdose last year. Sarasota County Sheriff's investigators say they found text messages on the victim's cell phone identifying Bernard Mullen as the man who gave her the drugs. Mullen was arrested this morning near Chicago. He's charged with sale or delivery of fentanyl and manslaughter. Sarasota police need your help identifying the man in this video. Officers say on June 8th around 10 p.m. he threw a brick through the glass front door of Blue Line, an office supply store in downtown Sarasota. He shattered that door, got inside, and then stole papers before leaving. If you have any information, call Sarasota Police at 941-724-2742. A man accused of making bomb threats at Charlotte County Elementary Schools is now in custody. Deputies say they were alerted to this man, Michael Piercy. They pinged his location based off of a 911 call received this morning making a false bomb threat. He was also found in possession of meth. He is now being held without bond. Well, we are in the last few days of Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Awareness Month. PTSD impacts thousands across the country, including right here on the Suncoast. Veterans and people across the U.S. suffer from PTSD after experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event. They typically have nightmares, feel jittery, or have a hard time concentrating and sleeping. Southeastern Guide Dogs in Palmetto is transforming lives by creating relationships between people and service dogs.
A dog like Chevy is trained to assist the person with PTSD in a number of different ways. Hopefully he will be able to primarily interrupt and distract the anxiety from building. They are very prone to getting panic attacks. And if we can stop it before it starts, get their attention back on the dog rather than what's going on around them, that is the most effective tool this dog can bring, because then they're not scared to go out.
Southeastern Guide Dogs spends thousands of dollars to breed, raise, train, and match service dogs with the people who need them. And the best part, that service is absolutely free. Holmes Beach Police is partnering with business owners to keep the city safe under a new voluntary program called Project Rascal. If a crime happens, police officers will be able to identify which surveillance cameras are available and then request video footage for investigations. An update now on the ongoing immigration battle. Lawmakers left Washington this week without passing a single bill to address what has been a month-long saga for parents and children who have been separated. That despite calls from all sides of the political spectrum to act. CNN's Nick Valencia tells us about the progress that is being made in the meantime.
More than a month after being separated from her 7-year-old son at the U.S. border, Brenda Ramirez Garcia was reunited with him at Dulles International Airport. The El Salvador native last saw her son Kevin on May 27th, a day after she crossed the border from Arizona. Her attorney says she was fleeing domestic violence. While this mother and son are finally back together, it's still not clear when thousands more kids in U.S. custody will see their loved ones again. And CNN is just learning, even before President Trump's zero-tolerance policy was announced, families were being separated at the border. It's not clear how many kids and parents were separated at that time and how or even if they've been reunited.
It's a continuing.
Democratic Senator Dick Durbin told CNN's Sunla Serfati that officials are struggling to answer even basic questions about the situation, let alone have a plan in place to reunite them.
How many children have we separated from their parents and have in our custody in our government? They said, we don't know. Well, how many are under the age of 5? Because the court order that was issued out of San Diego 2 days ago said within 14 days they have to be reunited with their parents. We don't know. Well, how many parents can you identify that have given up their children into our government? They said 10. 10 under ICE in custody. Where are the rest of them? Those are for parents kids under the age of 5. We don't know.
Congress isn't even close to passing any legislation on immigration. And protests against the president's zero-tolerance policy are ramping up, with massive rallies planned this weekend.
There's so much that needs to be done. I'm willing to stay here and work as long as we need to pass all of this legislation, but I wanted to show my support for the folks here today.
Florida woman has completed a more than 100-mile voyage from Cuba to the Florida Keys on a stand-up paddleboard. We first brought you this story on Monday when Victoria Burgess set off on her journey from Havana. She arrived in Key West on Wednesday, paddling across the Florida Straits in just under 28 hours. Burgess is believed to be the first woman to make the trip from Cuba to the Keys on a stand-up paddleboard. The 34-year-old said that she wanted to set a record and also serve to inspire others to accomplish their goals. A recycled SpaceX capsule is back in orbit today, this time carrying about 6,000 pounds of supplies to the International Space Station. The cargo including a robot, some mice, and super caffeinated coffee for the crew up there. The shipment, packed into a recycled capsule, should reach the station by Monday. A dolphin nicknamed Sharky is released back into the Atlantic Ocean after 4 months of rehab following a shark attack. The dolphin was being treated at SeaWorld's rehabilitation facility after her February rescue on Ponte Vedra Beach. The animal suffered multiple shark bites. She was also emaciated and suffering from pneumonia. After months of round-the-clock care, Sharky was finally well enough to be released back into the ocean yesterday. Stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus how law enforcement is making sure you're safe on the water, the roads, and in public places this holiday weekend, and some details on the plane that will get you from New York to London in just 2 hours.
Monday at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins. We'll take a look at cleanup from the 34th annual Grand Prix boat races. Tens of thousands of race fans lined at Lido Key Beach, and some turtles as well. We'll have the story Monday on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
Big 4th of July holiday coming up next work week. We'll let you know what the possibilities are for thunderstorms and lightning.
Monday at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. No, was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers, but you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Dr. Ed James II was a visionary. He brought important issues to the forefront on Black Almanac, and ABC7 will honor his legacy and continue to advance his mission. Tune into all new episodes of Black Almanac, Sunday mornings at 7:30 on ABC7.
All right, well, the boat weekend is here.
Yes.
Lots of people coming into Sarasota for the Sarasota Grand Prix.
They are here, and it was packed tonight over at the Van Wezel parking lot for the dry pits. And weather is going to be a little dicey on Saturday, especially. I think Sunday a little bit better, but and nonetheless, there's still going to be some storms on Sunday. They'll be scattered about, so it'll be hit or miss. Right now, we are looking at scattered storms for boaters tomorrow. Seas will be running 1 to 2 feet. And a light chop on the bays and inland waters. I just wanted to show you that real quick for a lot of boating going on out there. Remember, if you hear thunder out there, you want to get as low as you can if you're out in the boat and get to shore as quickly as possible. Again, that's the best advice I can give you. The thunder roars, go indoors. Well, tower cam showing a beautiful sunset tonight. There were a few clouds and a few showers around earlier. Those kind of dissipated, and now they're coming back again. And that is a direct result of this low pressure area that's in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to be kind of moving away on Sunday, so that's the reason why the chances are a little lower. Pictures sent in, this one from JVC. Jason Van Cleve, appreciate that one. And SpaceX cloud. Lauren wanted to know what this was this morning. A bright cloud in the eastern sky. That was from the SpaceX launch this morning, early on, around just after 5. And then this is from Finn's down there by Sharky's. And Don Pedro, all the way down in Rotunda. And they said the sunset was beautiful, but the red tide was awful. That's near Boca Grande, Placida, Rotunda. That's where it's a little heavier down there in Charlotte County. I mentioned those storms starting to pop back up once again. The low pressure is in this general area. It's going to slowly move off to the west, but you can see some storms still at this hour and some pretty heavy lightning as well. And then just offshore of Siesta Key, we have a lone shower developing. This is going to be moving off to the east, northeast. Not all that fast. It's not all that intense, but don't be surprised to hear a little rumble of thunder during the early morning hours. And then when wake-up time comes tomorrow, just after sunrise, there'll still be some clouds around and a few showers. I wanted to show you, this is a fast motion of the model, just to give you an idea what's happening. You see that low kind of spinning in that direction. I'm going to slow it down for you now and show you. This is at 2 a.m., so some storms around. And then as we move at 5:30, still not much, but then we take you to 10:30, scattered showers and storms kind of rolling and wrapping in around this area of low pressure. By 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, most of it now moving inland, and we get a little bit of a lull there, but they'll be back on Sunday, Sunday morning specifically, some more showers around. But notice by Sunday afternoon, most of the action inland, and that's when the biggest race is taking place off of Lido. And they'll still race as long as there's not any lightning around. Again, that's the case for Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures right now, pretty warm, 79 degrees at Sarasota. The Gulf water temperature at 86. That's warm. 76 in Arcadia, 78 in Northport. Currently, we have some clouds around at 79 degrees, and the dew point temperature pretty high, 76, humidity at 90%. The high today was a couple degrees below average because of the cloud cover we had throughout most of the day. 80 was the morning low. That was 5 degrees above the average, and just 1/100th of an inch of rainfall at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. We're over 3 inches below average for the month, because most of the rain this month has been falling east of I-75. Elsewhere across the country, all is fairly quiet, although some big storms starting to break out over the Central Plains states where there are some severe thunderstorm watches in effect, and the high fire danger continues out west. For boaters, I mentioned earlier, seas running 1 to 2 feet with a light chop, and the bays and inland waters will stay that way on Sunday too. The extended forecast, a good chance for scattered showers, especially mid-morning into early afternoon, and then things start to quiet down on Saturday. Rain chance drops a little bit on Sunday. There'll still be a few morning showers around. And then we go to the typical shower and thunderstorm chance running in through July 4th. So we'll have to dodge those at 9 o'clock. And then Friday, still next Friday, a 40% chance for scattered storms. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. A federal program that pays for hotel rooms for hurricane victims is coming to an end. FEMA's Transitional Sheltering Assistance Program will end on July 1st. It has helped roughly 2,500 families displaced by Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria. The program that's paying for the hotel rooms has already been extended 7 times. The agency says assistance will remain available for those who need it. There are other options for those who cannot afford to leave federal assistance altogether on July 1st. FEMA has asked those survivors to call its hotline. Well, this weekend is the busiest boating weekend of the year here in Sarasota, which means more Marine Patrol units are hitting the water. Not only is the Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix in town, but today also kicks off Operation Dry Water, a national campaign to bring awareness to boating under the influence. Typically, there's 1 or 2 Marine Patrol officers patrolling the city waters, but this weekend there will be 5 officers on the water from the Sarasota Police Department, then an additional 10 agencies helping them enforce the law.
The hope is that people won't do it. They'll make smarter choices, get designated drivers. It really is about prevention and saving lives. That's why they do it, so what a great weekend to have it.
Now, if you are caught driving a boat under the influence, officers will take you to land and begin a DUI investigation. If you get a BUI, you'll get a $500 fine. You'll also be arrested and go to jail. The Florida Highway Patrol also will be out in extra numbers this weekend ahead of the 4th of July holiday on Wednesday. Troopers will be focusing on speeders, aggressive drivers, and those who are impaired by drugs or alcohol. According to AAA, more Americans will travel this 4th of July than ever before, meaning roads will be busier than normal.
We're now the 3rd largest state, 20 million residents, over 100 million visitors a year. And in the summer, our roads get even more busy. So again, we want to make sure we're not texting while driving, not being distracted while driving. Pay attention to where we're going and what we're doing.
According to FHP, there were more than 64,000 speeding tickets written last July, more than any other month in 2017. And Sarasota County Sheriff's Office wants to offer some safety tips for the 4th of July. They recommend you arrive early and plan your route ahead of time because large crowds mean lots of traffic, so be patient. They also suggest you forgo driving altogether and consider using public transportation or hire an Uber or Lyft. Deputies also want to remind you that fireworks that leave the ground or explode are illegal and can lead to criminal charges. If you're traveling with a small child, take a picture with your cell phone so if they get lost, you can then show law enforcement what they look like. And of course, the waters will be taken over this weekend by boaters, and you can see it all for free. The annual Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix boat races will take place on Lido Beach starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. The festival director wants to remind people if you want to watch the races from the beach, make sure to get out there early. She also said if you will be watching from the Van Wezel parking lot, try Uber or iRide because there will be limited parking. But rain or shine, the race will go on.
And the only time the race is halted is if there's lightning. So we have a big tent you can sit under, you can watch the boats get craned in, ramped in, and also we have a huge Jumbotron where you can watch a live stream of all the racing action on Saturday and Sunday.
Now, New Pass will be closed from 8:30 tomorrow morning until the races are over, and the boat ramp will also be closed to the public until 6 p.m. on Sunday. Law enforcement and Coast Guard officials will be helping people if they have any questions. And that Grand Prix Festival also raises money for Suncoast Charities for Children. Kids and adults benefiting from the charities got to meet several of the racers who will be in action this weekend. Last year, the event generated more than $100,000 for the charity, and this year they're hoping to surpass that. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight on Kimmel. No. Yes. Comedy legends Steve Martin and Martin Short.
It's very exciting and a great honor to have both of you here. I really look forward to letting you down.
And music from the record company. Jimmy Kimmel Live, tonight on ABC.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Now, sports.
A video of yesterday's Orioles game is going viral today, not because of the players, but because of the person singing the national anthem. 18-year-old Nicholas Nauman was born with several medical conditions and was adopted at 9 months from an orphanage in the Ukraine. He has the intellectual capacity of a 3-year-old and has surprised those who know him best by memorizing the national anthem. He recently earned a gold medal at the Special Olympics. Well, after getting shut out last night, the Tampa Bay Rays hoping to score some runs tonight against the visiting Houston Astros. Well, that's not easy since the Astros own one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. But the Rays did even the series tonight with the win, 3-2. NBA superstar LeBron James is opting out of his contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers. That means he will become an unrestricted free agent and can choose what team he now wants to join. James technically has until midnight to make his decision and then can sign with any team starting at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. He says his family is playing a major part in choosing what he wants to do in his career. More charges are coming for the disgraced former team doctor for USA Gymnastics. Larry Nassar, who also served as a doctor for Michigan State University, was sentenced to 40 to 175 years in prison in Michigan in January. Today, prosecutors in Texas announced 6 additional charges against Nassar, but nobody else with USA Gymnastics was charged in Walker County. They say they cannot charge the owners of a well-known gymnastics training center. They blamed time for running out. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong. A place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Find out first at 4 on the Suncoast with ABC 7 News at 4, premiering Monday, July 2nd. ABC 7 News at 4 starts with a detailed look at your first alert weather forecast to help you plan and prepare. We give you a fresh, fast-paced rundown of the day's top stories and videos, including breaking news, live updates, and traffic hotspots, all at a new, more convenient time. Find out first at 4, weekdays on ABC 7. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Well, you could soon be able to make it to London in just 2 hours. Boeing wants to make a passenger plane that can shuttle customers around the globe at 5 times the speed of sound. With top speeds exceeding 3,800 miles per hour, the trek from New York to London, for example, could take 2 hours. That's about 5 hours faster than the trip currently takes. Boeing says that concept is still in the early stages of development, and it could take 20 to 30 years before it becomes a reality. Could you imagine? It'd be like a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah,
That'd
2
be nice.
hours. It's like a flight from here to Toledo.
Yeah.
And then it's just amazing.
Nice.
It's amazing. Things are getting faster and faster, it seems like. Weather is going to be a little bit dicey for the fast boats tomorrow out there in the Gulf of Mexico tomorrow morning. Hopefully it gets over in time for the beginning of the races, and you can see we even have some showers starting to pop up just to the west of Siesta Key right now. So we can expect some overnight showers. The storm shouldn't be all that strong, but tomorrow a different story.
All right, thanks, Bob. And thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend and safe holiday.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Iguanas only reproduce 1 month out of the year.
That's because they suffer from erectile dysfunction.
According to the Department of Homeland Security, what color represents the lowest threat level?
Is Caucasian a color?
Which casino game has the best odds for a payout?
The ATM.
Funny you should ask. Weekdays at 4:30 and 11:30 on ABC 7. You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC 7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC 7 on Facebook. Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here. Because
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.